Welcome to Creation Health. Nutrition, that's the 8th and final topic of our Creation Health seminar. Nutrition is the fuel that drives our entire system. So much research supports the fact that God gave us the best dietary plan at creation, in the Garden of Eden. Eden's diet was plant-based, and today, when we consume more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, we are healthier. We increase the length and the quality of our lives. We've talked about this in every lesson. God wants us to live life to the fullest, and eating right can help us do this. Fueling our body with wholesome nutrition is one of the ways to enjoy the abundant life God offers. We find this counsel in the Bible. Listen to me, and eat what is good, and your soul will delight in the richest fare, that your soul may live. Isaiah 55, 2-3. The Bible reminds us that our body is the dwelling place of God, the temple of the Holy Spirit. Research supports the fact that the optimal diet is a diet that is plant-based, provides plenty of fiber, and includes healthy quantities of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Have you heard this wise statement? Those who think they have no time for healthy eating will sooner or later have to find time for illness. So, do we find time for healthy eating? Do we eat 3 servings of fruits and vegetables each day? Did you know that 8 out of 10 diseases are due to inadequate nutrition or alcohol use? Or that 6 out of 10 Americans are overweight because of their dietary habits? Childhood obesity is a major problem, with an increasing number of children being diagnosed with adult-onset diabetes. And because of obesity and its relationship to diabetes, a new disease has emerged called diabesity. A common diet today is one that contains animal products, is filled with processed and fried foods, saturated fats, salt, and sugar. The typical diet is usually short on fruits, vegetables, monounsaturated fat, legumes, seeds, and nuts. The typical diet usually lacks adequate water. Instead, we've replaced it with soda and caffeine. In fact, here are the caffeine contents of certain popular soft drinks. You can see how a few of the popular caffeinated beverages actually compare to each other. And you should know some of the side effects of caffeine. They include anxiety and jitters, sleeplessness, headaches, dehydration, calcium loss, and heart irregularities. Now, think about diets that include alcohol. Then, of course, there are all those supersized portions. So, what does your diet look like? Take a look at your nutrition habits with the exercise on page 288 called the Healthy Eating Self-Test. This is another baseline test for you to use as a starting point for improvement. Pause the video now and find out where you fall on your nutrition index. Welcome back. So, chances are, no matter what your nutrition index is, there's always room to improve. More on how to get started next.
Of all the ways we have to be creation healthy, nutrition is perhaps the most powerful. Would you like to be happier and more energetic, stronger and healthier, substantially decrease your risk of disease? Then start here. Improve your nutrition. And you can start small. There was a man who was 100 pounds overweight. He was too self-conscious to even attend the nutrition classes his employer offered. So he met with the nutritionist personally for help. The first week, she asked him to record everything he ate. After reviewing his food journal, she suggested he start eating 1 piece of fruit every day. But what about the pound of fudge I eat every day? Shouldn't I stop? Don't worry about it, she said. It'll take care of itself. And it did. He started achieving his weight loss goals because of this simple but powerful principle. When you keep filling your life with positive things, soon there will be no room for negative things. He didn't give up his pound of fudge all at once. He replaced it, little by little, by simply adding something healthier every day. But what about your diet? Can you make a positive addition today? Maybe eat more of creation's wonderful fruits and vegetables. How about adding a couple of glasses of water? Can you start eating breakfast more regularly? My point is, choose to start just by making a few small positive changes in your diet. And don't beat yourself up over all the unhealthy stuff. Focus on the good, and you will succeed.
There are some other tips in the next 2 exercises. Organize your kitchen is on page 226, and on page 227, you'll find Save Precious Time. Both of these skill builders will help you save time. You could probably organize your kitchen more. Just take a step back to tour your kitchen area. You may need a few new things to make meal preparation more efficient. And how do you save precious time? One idea is to make a double batch of your favorite recipe and freeze half for a quick meal that may give you time to relax. Take a look. You're back. Was that helpful? Again, remember, small positive changes can make a world of difference. An optimistic outlook and the habit of making small positive changes makes many of the negative things in our lives go away on their own. Remember, we achieve success by choosing to have an optimistic outlook and by making positive choices. A positive outlook equals success. Here is an interesting story. There was a mill worker who was 100 pounds overweight and wanted to lose weight but was too embarrassed to attend the nutrition classes that his employer was offering. So he met with the presenter in her office to see if she would be willing to help him individually to lose some weight. She said, "Sure, I'd be happy to." For the first week, all she asked him to do was write down everything he ate daily. He took the journal to his next meeting. She looked it over and then asked him to eat 1 serving of fruit every day in the coming week. He said to her, "But what about the pound of fudge I eat every day?" She said not to worry about it because it would take care of itself. And it did. In the coming weeks, the man noticed that he craved more fruits and vegetables and had a decreasing desire for the foods he usually ate. Soon, the man succeeded in achieving his weight loss goals. Be balanced and fill your life with good, positive things. This is the key to success. Making positive choices will change your life. You'll be energized. Just one positive change will lead to another. So think about what you could add to your diet to make it healthier. Would it be more water? How about for breakfast? More fruits, vegetables, nuts, or seeds? What is just one small thing that you can do right now to be healthier and feel better? These next 2 exercises are interesting. Plan Ahead is on page 224. Spend some extra time at the grocery store is on page 225. These exercises are about spending more time planning and at the grocery store. However, they will help save you time in the long run and help you improve your nutrition. Creating a list of meals you typically eat is a good start. Then you can take a few moments to make some healthier substitutions. As you set aside a little more time at the grocery store, you'll get familiar with the labels and start making healthy choices. See if these plans will work for you. Pause the video now. Glad to have you back. Did you learn how to save some time and maybe some money by planning ahead? How about healthier choices? It's all about what you bring or don't bring into the house in the first place. Break time again. It might be a good time to work some extra fruit and water into your day. Both will help your brain function better. We'll see you later. Welcome back. Now that you're fueled up and ready to go, let's talk about the positive benefits of a healthy diet.
Food is the energy that makes it possible for our body to regenerate and grow. To get better results, all we have to do is fuel our body with better food. Human blood cells only live for about 4 months, so our body is constantly replacing old blood cells with new ones. Thousands of new cells regenerate in our body daily. That's why fueling our body with the highest quality of food helps to create the healthiest cells. So we should enjoy a variety of foods that are prepared in fresh ways. A balanced approach that adds colors, textures, and flavors is best. Different foods equal different nutrients. We should also guard ourselves against diet gimmicks, tricks, and trends. Ask, how is this different from what I know is a balanced diet? And how will this affect my health overall? If it proposes dramatic changes from a regular eating schedule or from normal foods, then don't fall for it because it isn't a healthy diet. Think back to the creation story. The original diet we find is plant-based. Have you ever wondered why God gave us a vegetarian diet in the beginning? He wants what's best for us, so He gave us a diet that helps us live life to the fullest. It's a diet that energizes us. It prevents disease while creating and maintaining our best health. The original diet we find in Eden had a ratio of 60% carbohydrates to 14% protein. And what are some benefits of this diet? Well, for starters, it's high in fiber. Some high fiber foods are beans, legumes, whole grains, pasta, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Fiber makes us feel full, which means we don't eat as much. High fiber foods help us achieve and maintain a healthy weight. A study involving more than 74,000 women showed that those who ate more whole grains weighed less. Research also shows that eating 3 servings of fruits daily helps with healthy weight loss. High fiber foods cause blood sugar to rise slowly, requiring less insulin to process the meal. They also slow the emptying of food from the stomach, increasing the absorption of simple sugars in the small intestine. Other benefits of a vegetarian diet that's high in fiber include lower serum cholesterol concentrations, lower risk of heart disease, reduced blood pressure, better glycemic control, which reduces the risk of diabetes, and improved digestive function. And it's a fact that a vegetarian diet leads to the lowest risk of cancer, period. Despite these benefits, some might wonder if it's possible to get enough protein on a vegetarian diet. Research shows that a proper vegetarian diet does in fact supply all of our protein needs. Here are some other important findings. With plant foods, we experience a slow, continuous release of energy, helping our body maintain consistent serotonin levels. This helps control our mood, appetite, and food cravings throughout the day. High fiber foods reduce emotional distress as well by increasing brain function since it's being fueled by a steady release of glucose. Adults who eat high fiber foods for breakfast are more productive and think more clearly. As you might imagine, good nutrition affects children positively too. In one study, the meals were changed in school lunches served to more than 1 million New York City public school students. In just 1 year, a more wholesome diet caused a 16% increase in academic performance and a 41% decrease in the number of children with learning disabilities. In another study involving 8,000 teenagers at 9 different juvenile correctional facilities, researchers replaced diets high in sugar and refined foods with diets high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. During the year in which the diets were changed, violent and antisocial incidents at the institutions decreased by almost half. A good diet improves quality of life all the way around.
Simple, wise decisions about nutrition can have rich health rewards. Nutrition impacts our quality of life and longevity. For example, human blood cells only live for about 4 months. This means your body is constantly making new blood cells to replace those that are degenerating. So, giving your body the highest quality food allows it to make stronger, healthier blood cells. Thousands of other cells throughout your body are being regenerated every day. So, the importance of a healthy diet is very easy to see. We really are what we eat. And don't believe everything you hear in the news. For example, we often hear about studies talking about how a little bit of wine is good for the heart, or how chocolate contains antioxidants, or how caffeine improves physical performance. When you see these kinds of claims, ask yourself, how will this food affect my overall health? Stand back and look at the big picture. For example, when you hear the news that a little wine is good for your heart, the questions that logically should follow might be, is it the alcohol in the wine that makes it good for your heart? The answer to that is no. Isn't alcohol bad for your heart? Yes, it is, and most other parts of your body, including your brain and liver. Well, what is it in the wine that makes it good for your heart? The answer there is flavonoids and phenolics. Can I get the same substances in grape juice or from fruits and vegetables without the negative effects of alcohol? Yes. Look at the big picture when deciding whether something is healthy or not. Be a wise consumer by approaching nutrition and dietary practices with an engaged mind. God has blessed us with an array of food in different colors, textures, and tastes. And for every different color, there are benefits in vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals. Fixing foods in different ways gives you different benefits. For instance, cooking vegetables and other foods enhances the availability of some of the nutrients, while eating the same foods raw provides different benefits. Mix it up and watch your physical and mental health flourish. There's always a new wonder diet. Many of them, however, present real hazards to your health. If you need to gain or lose weight, do so in a gradual way. Consume a balanced diet and be moderate. If you're considering a particular diet regimen, look carefully at it and ask yourself how different it is from what you know to be a balanced diet. If it proposes dramatic changes from a normal eating schedule, or normal foods or ratios of certain kinds of foods, it's probably not a healthy diet. Just as with many other areas of your wellness plan, any changes to your diet make sense as a long-term lifestyle. Remember, food is a blessing from God. It is our fuel for living an abundant life. And the closer our food is to the way God made it, the healthier it is. We eat to live. We don't live to eat. Here are 6 healthy eating guidelines that you should keep in mind. First, eat a variety of nutrient-dense foods and beverages from the basic food groups. Limit your intake of saturated and trans fats, cholesterol, added sugars, salt, and alcohol. Second, maintain body weight in a healthy range by balancing calories from foods with calories used. To prevent gradual weight gain over time, make small decreases in food and beverage calories and increase your physical activity. Next, consume the right amount of fruits and vegetables. 2 cups of fruit and 2.5 cups of vegetables per day are recommended for a 2,000-calorie diet. Choose a variety of fruits and vegetables each day, too. Select from all 5 vegetable subgroups. That means dark green, orange, legumes, starchy vegetables, and other vegetables several times a week. Eat at least half your grains from whole grains. Next, consume less than 10% of calories from saturated fatty acids and less than 300 milligrams a day of cholesterol. Keep your total fat intake between 20 to 35% of your total calories, with most fats coming from sources of polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fatty acids, such as fish, nuts, and vegetable oils. When selecting and preparing meat, poultry, dry beans, and milk or milk products, make choices that are lean, low-fat, or fat-free. Limit your intake of fats and oils that are high in saturated and/or trans fatty acids. Choose fiber-rich fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Choose and prepare foods and beverages with little added sugars or caloric sweeteners. Lastly, consume less than 1 teaspoon of salt per day, but you do want to eat potassium-rich foods. Now, let's talk about fiber. Dietary fiber is found only in plant-based foods, primarily unrefined foods, such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, peas, beans, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. The recommended intake of dietary fiber is 20 to 35 plus grams per day, but the actual intake for most people, well, it's only about 10 to 15 grams per day. Fiber helps form the walls within plant foods. The walls themselves contain nutrients and surround the plant substances that we term nutrients. Fiber is largely the undigestible part of the plant. In preparing food, shredding our food may make it easier to eat, but it doesn't destroy plant fiber. Cooking softens but does not destroy fiber. Fiber also helps you feel full faster. The primary function of fiber is to move the bowel contents and slow the absorption of sugars so that blood sugars don't rise too fast. This spares the pancreas by decreasing the need for insulin. The slow-released energy from plant foods helps the body maintain consistent serotonin levels, which help control your mood, appetite, and cravings throughout the day. Fiber also helps reduce emotional distress. High-fiber foods can improve your brain function because fiber provides a steady release of glucose. It is the optimal brain fuel. One study changed the nutritional content of school lunches served to 1.1 million New York City public school students. In just 1 year, a more wholesome diet led to a 16% increase in academic performance and a 41% decrease in the number of children who performed poorly. Fiber satisfies appetite without excess calories, therefore filling you up without filling you out. High fiber intakes are associated with lower serum cholesterol levels, lower risk of heart disease, and reduced blood pressure. Foods rich in soluble fibers lower blood cholesterol by binding with bile and increasing cholesterol excretion from the body. Fiber may have other effects on lowering cholesterol and reducing the risk of coronary heart disease. By the way, high-fiber foods include beans, legumes, whole grains, pasta, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Here are some of the health benefits of eating foods that are high in fiber. Number 1, fiber draws water into the bowel and adds bulk, helping to prevent constipation. Secondly, foods high in dietary fiber, especially fruits and vegetables, protect against many common cancers. In fact, those who eat plant-based diets have the lowest rate of cancer. Also, fiber in meals slows the absorption of glucose, helping to prevent the glucose surge and rebound that increases diabetes risk. People who eat more dietary fiber are less likely to get diabetes. Foods high in fiber slow the rise of blood sugar, requiring less insulin to process a meal. And lastly, as we already mentioned, fiber may have other effects on lowering cholesterol and reducing the risk of coronary heart disease. This slide shows the results of a study on dietary fiber and the risk of heart attack or myocardial infarction involving 43,757 men from the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. These men completed a 131 food frequency survey which determined their fiber intake. For every 10 grams increase in fiber eaten daily, heart attack risk goes down. Isn't it amazing that we can make such big differences in our health with such small changes? Think about how easy it is to add just 10 extra grams of fiber to your diet. Start today. by adding some carrots or beans to your diet. Now, let's shift our focus from the benefits of fiber and talk about food and its spectrum of colors. Colorful food is pleasing to the eye, but there's a purpose behind it too, as we'll discover in this next segment of our DVD presentation.
Before fast food became a way of life, we enjoyed fast foods that were even faster and easier to eat, such as apples, bananas, and almonds. Nature's nutrient-rich fast foods come in a spectrum of colors. Purple, red, and blue fruits and vegetables are rich in phytochemicals called anthocyanins. These rid the body and brain of free radical damage. Orange, yellow, and green vegetables are rich in stress-lowering carotenoids. How important is fruit and vegetable consumption? Well, the World Health Organization reports that nearly 3 million people die each year simply because they're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. 5 servings a day is all we need. 20% of all cancer is preventable by eating 5 servings of fruit and vegetables daily. Here's some tips to get you started. Eat broccoli. This vegetable wins top honors when it comes to promoting health. Ounce for ounce, it has more vitamin C than an orange and as much calcium as a glass of milk. 1 medium sprig of broccoli has 3 times more fiber than a slice of wheat bread. It's also one of our richest sources of vitamin A. Consider these benefits. Broccoli minimizes the risk of cataracts and helps protect against strokes. It contains a substance called isothiocyanates, which stimulate the body to create its own cancer-fighting substances. Isothiocyanates also block the growth of melanoma skin cancer cells. People who eat the most cruciferous vegetables have a much lower risk of prostate, colon, and lung cancers, even when compared to people who regularly eat other vegetables. Other cruciferous vegetables such as kale, cabbage, and cauliflower contain compounds that signal our genes to increase enzymes that detoxify the body. In a study of women in Singapore, a city of high levels of air pollution, non-smokers who ate cruciferous vegetables lowered their risk of lung cancer by 30%. Smokers who ate them reduced their lung cancer risk by 69%. Want a simple way to detoxify your body? Eat cruciferous vegetables like kale, spinach, broccoli, turnips, cauliflower, collards, bok choy, and cabbage. Bottom line, fruits and vegetables protect us from disease, and they create a higher quality and quantity of life. But let's move on to another food, beans. Beans are a great source of protein and fiber, and they're low in calories and fat. Eating beans reduces the risk of heart disease, stroke, helps with diabetes, and helps prevent cancer. A University of Kentucky study found that men who increased their bean intake for 3 weeks lowered their cholesterol by 19%, which reduced their risk of heart attack by 40%. Also, drinking soybean milk more than once a day decreased the risk of prostate cancer by 70%. Now, what conclusions can we make based on the research we've covered in this section? One of the easiest, quickest, and most effective ways to feel better and stronger is to color your diet. Eat at least 5 servings of different color fruits and vegetables a day, and you'll feel better and have more energy.
Now it's time for another exercise called Recipe Transformation that's on page 223 of your guide. Pick out a recipe that you like and experiment with ways to make it healthier by making substitutions. Replacing refined flour with whole grain flour is a good example. Pause the video now and see what you think. We're glad to see you back. Did you think of a recipe to start with? Fruits and vegetables really are the original fast food. What could be faster or easier than a small bag of carrots in your briefcase, an apple in your car, grabbing a banana on the run, dried fruit in your desk drawer, or frozen vegetables cooked in your microwave? You should know that worldwide, low intake of fruits and vegetables is estimated to cause about 19% of gastrointestinal cancer, about 31% of ischemic heart disease, and 11% of strokes. The World Health Organization says that up to 2.7 million lives could be saved each year if sufficient fruits and vegetables were eaten. Experts stated that 20% of cancer is preventable by consuming just 5 servings of fruit and vegetables daily. A meta-analysis of 8 studies conducted in America, Europe, and Japan involving more than 250,000 individuals found that people eating more than 5 servings per day can reduce their risk of stroke by 26% when compared to those eating less than 3 per day. So, obviously, the goal should be to eat 5 or more vegetables and fruits a day. The color in fruits and vegetables is created by flavonoids, which science is discovering are amazing promoters of health. Purple, red, and blue fruits or vegetables are rich in phytochemicals called anthocyanins, which help rid free radical damage in the body and brain. Orange, yellow, and green vegetables are rich in stress-lowering carotenoids. One study found that some of these carotenoids, such as beta-carotene, when consumed on a regular basis, have a stress hormone-lowering effect. Researchers discovered that participants in their study who had high blood levels of carotenoids had less irritability and sleeplessness. So, the lesson here is to enjoy a rainbow of colors in your diet every day. Here's an interesting study. Of 8,000 teenagers at 9 juvenile correctional facilities, researchers arranged to have diets high in sugar and other refined carbohydrates to be replaced with diets high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. The change was attributed to budget cuts, so inmates didn't realize they were participating in a research study. Amazingly, during the year in which the diets were changed, violent and antisocial incidents in the institutions decreased by almost half. This slide shows the results from the American Cancer Society's Cancer Prevention Study. The study included 200,000 men ages 35 to 69 and followed them for 6 years. All were healthy at the start of the study. 4 major lifestyle factors were observed: smoking, sedentary lifestyle, low intake of fruits and vegetables, and obesity. The American Cancer Society's Cancer Prevention Study for women had a similar outcome. The data show the relationship between vegetable and fruit intake and overall mortality or the probability of dying. The researchers did find a gradual increase in mortality as the consumption of fruits and vegetables decreased. Now let's talk about a group of vegetables that are power-packed with health-promoting benefits. New research reveals that the phytonutrients in crucifers, such as kale, work at much deeper levels than originally thought. These compounds signal our genes to increase the production of enzymes that are involved in detoxification, the cleansing process through which our bodies eliminate harmful compounds. Take kale, for instance. Kale contains large nutritional content with very little calories. It contains phytonutrients that help rid the body of harmful compounds. Here's a list of some other common cruciferous vegetables: collards, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, radish, and arugula. Like kale, these cruciferous vegetables have similar benefits, and there are many more in addition to those in this list. Studies show that people who eat the most cruciferous vegetables have a much lower risk of prostate, colorectal, and lung cancer, even when compared to people who regularly eat other vegetables. For example, in the Netherlands cohort study on diet and cancer, which included over 100,000 people for more than 6 years, researchers found that those eating the most vegetables benefited with 25% lower risk of colorectal cancers, but those eating the most crucifers did almost twice as well, with a 49% drop in their colorectal cancer risk. This study clearly illustrates cruciferous vegetables' amazing ability to help detoxify the body. Let's take a few minutes now and look at the many benefits of just one vegetable, broccoli. Broccoli has more vitamin C than an orange, as much calcium as a glass of milk. A medium-sized spear has more fiber than a slice of wheat bran bread. In addition to all of these benefits, it's also a rich source of vitamin A, aids in decreasing the risk of colon cancer, and helps to reduce the risk of stroke. Broccoli is rich in substances called isothiocyanates, which are chemicals that stimulate the body's production of its own cancer-fighting substances. Cruciferous vegetables contain phytonutrients, which increase enzymes involved in detoxification. That, in turn, leads us into our next fascinating study. Singapore often has high levels of pollution, which makes it more difficult for the body to detoxify the lungs. Well, a study done on Chinese women in Singapore, a city in which air pollution levels are often high, found that in non-smokers, eating cruciferous vegetables lowered their risk of lung cancer by 30%. Among smokers, regularly eating cruciferous vegetables reduced their lung cancer risk an amazing 69%. Studies have found that cruciferous vegetables lower the risk of prostate, colon, lung, and skin cancer. It's a good practice to eat cruciferous vegetables often to detoxify your body. In addition to eating cruciferous vegetables, think about adding more beans to your diet as well. Beans are high in protein and fiber and low in calories and fat. Beans also reduce the risk of many cancers. When people think of protein, they often think of meat, but research has linked a meat-based diet with diseases such as coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, stroke, and diabetes. So instead of meat, try substituting beans. Beans will provide you with the protein you need without the risk associated with meat. In order to get your recommended daily amount of vegetables, you should eat 3 to 5 servings of the following: 1 cup of raw leafy vegetables, a half cup of other vegetables, cooked or raw, including potatoes, and 3/4 of a cup of vegetable juice. So, what's in it for you if you eat your vegetables? Vitamins A and C, folate, iron, fiber, and antioxidants. In order to get your recommended daily amount of fruits, you should eat 2 to 4 servings of the following: 1 medium fruit, 1/2 cup of chopped or canned fruit, and 3/4 of a cup of fruit juice. Again, what's in it for you? Vitamins A, C, potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. Grapes always seem to be a hot topic, so let's consider their benefits. Grapes decrease the risk of coronary disease and heart attack. The beneficial flavonoids that fight heart disease are actually found in the grape itself, not in the wine. Grapes have gotten a lot of attention as a healthy fruit, mainly because of the connection made between drinking red wine and increased heart health. Fortunately, those health benefits can be gotten without the harmful effects of alcohol. So you can drink a glass of red grape juice and receive the same heart-healthy benefits. A study published in Lancet found that high intakes of flavonoids predicted lower mortality from coronary heart disease and lower incidence of heart attack. An apple a day keeps the doctor away is closer to fact than folklore. The nutritional stars in apples, which are fiber, flavonoids, and fructose, translate into the apple's ability to keep us healthy. Apples are a rich source of phytonutrients, including flavonoids and phenols. Another reason apples are so good for us is because they're an excellent source of antioxidants. When compared to other commonly consumed fruits in the United States, they were found to have the second highest level of antioxidants. A study published in Calcified Tissue International suggests that a flavonoid found only in apples called floridzin may help prevent bone loss associated with menopause. It's best to eat the whole apple with the peel. The beneficial pectin is found in the peel of the apple, and when apples are processed, it greatly reduces their phytonutrient content. For example, apple juice obtained from Jonagold apples by pulping and straight pressing had only 10% of the antioxidant activity of fresh apples. Processing also reduces the fiber content. Of the 10 varieties commonly consumed in the U.S., Fuji apples have the highest total phenolic and total flavonoid compounds. Red Delicious were high too. The pectin, which is primarily found in the skin of apples, grabs toxins such as lead and mercury and removes them from the body. Apples contain both insoluble and soluble fiber. We've already seen the powerful effect of eating high fiber. The apple's insoluble fiber works like bran, latching on to LDL cholesterol in the digestive tract and removing it from the body. Adding just one large apple to your daily diet has been shown to decrease serum cholesterol by 8 to 11%. Both of the fibers in apples have cancer protective activity, since they relieve constipation and send potentially toxic substances out with the stools. A very large review study, which included 85 studies, found that indeed an apple a day can help keep the doctor away. Apples were found to be most consistently associated with a reduced risk of cancer, heart disease, asthma, and type 2 diabetes when compared to other fruits and vegetables. Additionally, eating apples was associated with increased lung function and increased weight loss. Let's consider some quick start action tips for putting into practice what we've been learning in this presentation.
Being healthy is about consistently making the better choice. Here are some easy ways to start enjoying better health today. Keep an apple with you. Remember the adage, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, apples do reduce cancer risk, heart disease, asthma, and type 2 diabetes. They increase lung function and weight loss. Also, the pectin found in their skin grabs toxins like lead and mercury and flushes them out of the body. Apples also help protect us from damaging UVB radiation. So keep an apple with you. Better yet, keep 2. Of the 10 brands commonly consumed in the U.S., Fuji apples have the highest total phenolic and flavonoid compounds. Red Delicious are high too. Begin by simply adding an apple to your diet today. You don't have to make any other changes if you're not ready. Besides keeping an apple with you, grab a handful of almonds. Studies show that eating 5 or more servings of nuts a week reduces heart attack risk by 51%. It also cuts the risk of dying from coronary artery disease by 44% compared to eating nuts less than once a week. Almonds and walnuts in particular help fight Alzheimer's disease. Additionally, nuts are a good source for choline, a brain-boosting chemical. If you're looking for a simple way to feel a lot better now, then separate some almonds or walnuts into individual servings in bags. And as you're headed out the door, take a bag or 2 with you. Eat them for a quick snack or when you're hungry. Drink more water, not just liquid, but water. All of the body's important chemical reactions take place in water. Its role is vital for nutrient absorption, temperature control, and waste removal. Dehydration warning signs include headache, lightheadedness, dizziness, and tiredness. Start drinking more water if you experience any of these symptoms. A lack of water also reduces alertness and the ability to concentrate. Getting enough water reduces certain cancer risks and is also vital for metabolizing fat, making us thinner. Do you have more on your to-do list than you can get done? Then make time for a healthy breakfast because it increases your production output. Take a few minutes for a bowl of oatmeal and some fruit. This sharpens your mind and fuels your body for hours with energy. Here's a thought. If you don't have time for breakfast, then grab an apple, a bag of almonds, and a bottle of water as you head out the door, and eat on the way to wherever you're headed. Change is easier when we start small because little choices add up to create big results. So take action today and start living your life to the fullest with better nutrition.
Our guiding principle here has been keep filling our life with positive things until there's no room for negative things. In other words, let the good squeeze out the bad. Which quick start action step can you start implementing right now? Can you eat an apple every day? Or find a handful of almonds or walnuts? Can you plan a quick, healthy breakfast for tomorrow? What about water? Where you start is up to you. Start small to reap big results and begin living a healthier, stronger, and more energetic life today. That's Creation Health.
We've already talked about the power-packed nutritional benefits of apples, and it's an easy grab-and-go food source too. So keep an apple with you at all times. Grab a handful of almonds as a healthy snack because they are a great source of protein and fiber. They help fight Alzheimer's disease and reduce the risk of heart attack, and they'll fill you up and fight hunger. By simply eating a small handful of nuts daily, you'll greatly enhance your health. Some people worry about the high fat content of nuts, but you really don't have to worry because it's healthy fat. These were the results of a health study that involved 26,473 Adventists. People who ate nuts 5 or more times each week had statistically fewer heart attacks than those who ate nuts less than once per week. This finding was independent of traditional coronary risk factors. The Nurses' Health Study, which lasted 14 years and involved more than 86,000 women, found that those who eat more than 5 ounces of nuts weekly will cut their risk of coronary heart disease by 35% compared to women who eat less than 1 ounce per month. That kind of fat in nuts is good. Nuts contain primarily unsaturated fats, which help protect against heart disease. The researchers pointed out that nuts also have protein, magnesium, vitamin E, fiber, and potassium, all of which are healthy for the heart and circulatory system. In the same journal, another long-term Harvard study of 22,000 doctors, the 17-year Physicians' Health Study, indicated that nut consumption helped prevent an irregular heart rhythm that can cause sudden death. And not only are nuts good for your heart, they're good for your brain, too. Researchers have credited almonds and walnuts with helping to fight Alzheimer's disease and depression. Almonds are definitely an excellent choice because they're higher than any other food in a form of vitamin E that the body absorbs and uses best. One study involved 815 Chicago residents who were aged 65 and older with no initial symptoms of mental decline. The researchers in this study found that the group eating foods high in the antioxidant vitamin E had a 70% lower risk of becoming afflicted with Alzheimer's than a group who ate few foods high in vitamin E. Nuts are also a good source for choline, a brain-boosting chemical involved in memory. Eating nuts keeps us from getting hungry. A Purdue University researcher found that people feel more full, less jittery, hungry, and stressed when they eat a handful of nuts before a meal. Flax seeds are one of the biggest powerhouses around. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants such as lignin, and fiber. These 3 reasons are responsible for many of their benefits. Flax seeds are beneficial in helping with heart disease, cancer, high cholesterol and high blood pressure, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, ADHD, and memory loss. Flax seeds also offer help with weight problems, inflammation, eczema, acne and itchy dry skin or hives, constipation, menopause, PMS, and depression. In addition to grabbing a handful of almonds and taking an apple with you, drink more water. All of the body's important chemical reactions take place in water, and it has a vital role for absorption of nutrients, removal of waste, and control of temperature. Its role in many other physical functions is becoming better understood, and the effects of water shortage upon the body is being measured in terms of underperformance, disease, and premature death. Here are some important water facts. Water is the most important nutrient needed by the human body. Without water, you can only live a few days. In sustaining life, it is second in importance only to oxygen. Water is the main constituent of the body and forms 50 to 60% of body weight. Water in the body carries nutrients and oxygen to cells. It aids in food digestion, assists in regulating body temperature, creates supple, beautiful skin, works as a natural diuretic, and helps the mind think more clearly, the joints move smoothly, and cleans wastes from the body. One of the most important functions of water is to cleanse the system. The body needs pure water to function optimally. Your body treats juice or soda in a different way than water. Sodium is high in many drinks. Fruit juices and soft drinks contain a lot of sugar. Sugar requires extra water to be metabolized by the body. These drinks are okay, but they should not replace water. Not getting enough water may result in dehydration and could make your skin appear flushed, dry, and loose, with a loss of elasticity. Loss of skin elasticity is associated with aging. A headache is often one of the earliest signs of dehydration, along with lightheadedness, dizziness, and fatigue. For the best mental performance, we must be well hydrated. Symptoms of mild dehydration in adults could include lightheadedness, dizziness, reduced alertness and ability to concentrate, irritability, headache, and fatigue. People do report feeling more tired when they're just 2% dehydrated. It's important to encourage and remind kids to drink water as well. Here's a study on children's mental performance and the relationship between voluntary dehydration and cognitive performance in school children between the ages of 10 and 12. At the beginning of the day, there were no significant differences in mental performance between the hydrated and dehydrated children. By midday, however, the hydrated group performed better in 4 of 5 cognitive tests compared to the dehydrated group, especially in short-term memory. Research suggests that drinking enough water every day reduces the risk of 3 of the 4 most common types of cancer: breast, large bowel, and prostate, but not in lung cancer. The risk of colon cancer was reduced by 45% in women and 32% in men who drank 4 or 5 glasses of water per day compared to individuals who drank 2 or less. Lastly, good hydration can reduce the risk of breast cancer by 79% in postmenopausal women and 33% in premenopausal women. Keeping well hydrated helps you improve your performance. You should drink water before you exercise, and during exercise, drink 3 to 6 ounces every 15 to 30 minutes. Cool water is best. Remember, if you're thirsty, then you're already dehydrated. One important function of the liver is to metabolize fat, and one of the main functions of the kidneys is to clean out the toxins in our body. When we're dehydrated, the kidneys are unable to do their job of cleaning out our toxins, so the liver is recruited in helping. When that happens, the fat is not metabolized properly because the liver is busy helping the kidney. As a result, fat remains on your body. So, go ahead and drink plenty of good water. Keep well hydrated. Your body will be able to function much better and will thank you by properly metabolizing the fat that you eat. In addition to drinking more water, grabbing a handful of almonds, and taking an apple with you, start eating breakfast. Eating breakfast is important for learning, memory, and physical well-being in both children and adults. The Alameda County study found that those who ate breakfast almost every day or did not eat between meals reported better physical health than those who skipped breakfast or ate between meals. A recent study directed by Harvard psychologist Michael Murphy included 4,000 elementary school children. Half ate breakfast and half did not. Across the board, those who ate breakfast exhibited better scores on a battery of attention tests, which included a test in short-term memory and a verbal fluency test. A good breakfast is essential for maximum efficiency of the body and mind, especially during the late morning hours. Breakfast eaters demonstrate improved attention span, more efficient problem solving, increased verbal fluency, better attitudes, and better grades. Let's look at a couple of slides about whole grains, since whole grains are great at breakfast. Whole grain foods are valuable sources of nutrients that are lacking in the typical American diet, including dietary fiber, B vitamins, vitamin E, selenium, zinc, copper, and magnesium. Whole grain foods also play an important role in disease prevention. This data is from the AdventHealth study and includes 26,473 people. Researchers found a reduction in heart attacks for those who consumed only whole wheat bread compared to those who ate white bread. Today, we focused on positive additions that will make a huge impact on our health. These small steps taken toward better health mean less room for the unhealthy things. Turn your attention now to the exercise on the bottom of page 227, called Take Time to Explore How Food Can Help You. It's an exciting time in our lives as science is verifying what God knew all along, that eating food the way God intended will help us live longer, healthier, and more vibrant lives. As new research studies are published every day, you can learn more about how foods can help you. Take a look at page 227. You're back. We know you may not have a lot of time to do this research. Check out our website at creationhealth.com for nutrition articles and recipes, and nutrition for certain health conditions. And if you want to receive the latest studies and daily tips, subscribe to our Facebook page. We've covered a lot in this presentation on nutrition, so let's conclude our time together by summarizing and reviewing what we've covered. A simple and easy way to begin living creation health is to keep an apple with you. Grab a handful of almonds. Drink water. Eat breakfast. Focus on positive additions. Remember that food is a blessing from God. It is our fuel for life. God's eating plan is found in the Bible. The closer it is to the way God made it, the better. Here are 7 healthy eating guidelines. Number 1, eat a variety of foods. 2, balance food with physical activity to maintain or improve weight. 3, choose a diet that's low in total fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol. 4, choose a diet with plenty of vegetables, fruits, and grain products. Number 5, choose a diet that's moderate in sugars. 6, choose a diet that's moderate in salt and sodium. Number 7, if you drink alcoholic beverages, do so in moderation. Remember and practice these 4 creation health principles as you go forward. They are maximize, moderate, minimize, and avoid. We want to maximize by eating whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and water. We want to moderate the amount of food eaten. Only eat until you're comfortably full and try to eat smaller, more frequent meals. We need to minimize our animal protein, fat intake, processed foods, sugar, salt, and artificial sweeteners. Remember, too, it's healthiest to avoid alcohol, caffeine, and soda. Choose the diet that God originally gave you to enjoy a life of abundant health, happiness, and purpose. Remember these 8 principles of Creation Health: choice, rest, environment, activity, trust, interpersonal relationships, outlook, and nutrition. Remember these, and you will be able to live your life to the fullest. Your tips for success start on page 228, where you can review power tips on how to improve your overall nutrition. Here's what some of our graduates shared with us after they completed the course.
The most enjoyable part was nutrition. Well, it's one of a very important area in my life and in my family, and it's a part where I can not only use for myself, and I've learned a lot, and so I'm going out to the community and share with those who are interested in, excited about nutrition.
One thing that I'm going to change after attending the seminar is to cut back on the unhealthy foods that we eat. Try to eat less red meat, less fats, and eat more, even though we do eat a lot of vegetables and things like that. Put the vegetables up front in our meals where they fill us more, so we're less inclined to eat the other things.
We'll close with some helpful tips from Dr. Monica Reed as she answers the question, can little changes in my life really make a difference in my health?
The Creation Health principles really make a great deal of difference in the lives of individuals, and I've seen it even in some of my own patients. To have someone come in and talk about even simplistic changes that they've made in their lives using the 8 principles. For example, I had a gentleman who spoke with me just the other day telling me about just the simple changes he's made in his diet, eating more fruits and vegetables, and just really kind of focused on eating naturally, and he's lost 20 pounds. I've had patients who have come and talked with me about changes in their relationships, being more focused on their family, which we know is just as important as whether you smoke or drink. And so it's just those simple things, reconnecting, slowing down, changing our diets, moving a little bit more, perhaps not parking at the closest parking spot we can find in the mall, but really going to the back and just getting a bit of sunlight and some activity, just really makes a tremendous difference, and people start to feel better.
This concludes our Creation Health training on the topic of nutrition. Congratulations once more. You are well on your way to becoming a certified Creation Health graduate. Good luck on the quiz and on the final exam.